In this video, traders, I want to look at this. What's your relationship with the markets? Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so I want to ask you this question. What is your relationship with the markets? I.e., from a psychological perspective, what do you think about the markets? Are you thinking clearly in your mind a vision of the markets? How do you perceive it? Because let's put ourselves into two camps here. We've got the beginner trader who maybe has been trading for 6 months or so not kind of luck's done and dusted if their first couple of weeks, and they kind of look at the markets one way. And then you've got the experienced trader who's maybe had 7 or 8 figures worth of profits over his career so far, and how does he or she observe the market? So let's go into that profitable trader's shoes first. Now, how do you think they look at the markets? Are they frightened of the markets? Are they respectful of the markets? Well, they're certainly not frightened of the markets, right? They certainly don't fear the markets. They have a healthy respect for it, and they understand that at any point it can just do what it wants, and they can be in a position that could hurt them. But they respect that. They don't fear it. You don't fear when you drive on a 50-mile trip that you're going to get into a car accident, but you respect the fact that the roads are a dangerous place, can be a dangerous place, and you do all you can to mitigate that risk. But ultimately, you still know that the statistics show that something could happen to you, but you don't go out and go, oh, I'm going to get in my car, oh gosh, I'm going to be so scared. No one does. Well, I'm sure some people do, but as an experienced driver, you don't do that anymore, right? The same with trading. You recognize that actually any point something could happen to you that's just a black swan event. You could be caught on it, it could sting, but you don't fear it, right? You don't go into it thinking I'm scared of that. Versus let's just flip ourselves and put ourselves in the shoes of the kind of new trader, and they often flip that in their minds. They often really frightened of the markets. They're like, oh, market can really harm me. I'm trading this, and if it goes around, it could stop me out. I could get hurt. I could get this and get that. And there's a fear that manifests itself into how they trade. So if they're taking a trade and there's a bit of profit, like grab it quick, get out there quick, let's go grab it, and get it before it disappears and get out of there. Versus the more experienced trader who doesn't even look at it. He's like, hey, is the trade coming to my target? How am I going to position for this? And they're not thinking in terms of I need to get money and run. They're looking at it through a different lens. Now, that's not to say they won't just take the trade off regardless, but that's because they believe the trade has come to its fruition and the idea is finished, as opposed to from a P&L grabbing and hoarding perspective. So eliminating fear and concern about the market. You shouldn't fear the market. At the end of the day, yes, there is a danger there. It is a risky business we're trading. Anything can kind of happen ultimately. But if you're using prudent risk management, the chances get reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced. Depending on what asset class you're trading and how you're trading as well, you can make it very, very small that something catastrophic is going to happen. It's almost like it's got to be a perfect storm for something catastrophic to happen. If you're trading via a CFD or spread bet under the ESMA rules, you can't lose more than your account anyway these days. So, we can kind of not fear the market, but regardless of kind of full-scale catastrophic loss, I think the fear comes from, again, maybe not the market, but maybe you fear yourself. Maybe you fear that yourself is going to step into a tilt mode. You're going to start doing damage to your account, and then it's the market's fault, when in reality, it's you. That's probably another topic, but that's something to consider. So fear, respect. Now, respect. Every trader should respect the markets, just like the ocean. When you go out there, if you're surfing or swimming, whatever you're doing, you can use it and it's there, and there's advantages and you can get joy out of it if you're surfing, you're doing sport on it. But ultimately, it can change. The weather can change. A current can pull you out. A wave could smash you into the deck. You've got to respect it, and you're such a small piece in there, and irrelevance. It doesn't care about you. And the market's a great analogy for that, because you've got to respect it. Yes, you can get a lot of joy out of it, and from our perspective, we want to take profits from it. But if we disrespect it and we treat it without any care, we don't think how big it is, then any point in time, it can just do something, you get caught out and doesn't even care who you are, and just slams you into the ground, just like slamming you into the sand on a big kind of wave that catches you out. And so having a healthy respect for the market, and this is one thing as well, maybe separate, but I want to mention it. Portraying that respect in your actions. So a lot of traders, you're disrespectful to the market, to be frank, because you're coming into the market swinging in, going, yeah, I'm going to trade. You've done no prep. you don't know what you're looking for, you've got no strategy, you've got no plan, and you get away with it, you get away with it, get away with it, but the market will just go grab you and just spit you out eventually. It's portraying that respect and doing the things that say, I respect this market, and because I respect this market, I am going to prepare for the trading day. I am going to make sure that I've got a plan, I've got an approach, and I've got a way that I'm going to pull out the market, things aren't going my way, because I respect the fact that this thing can do anything. And just by the nature of doing these things, it means you immediately go, I'm treating this with respect, I'm going to come in, I'm going to try and take some opportunities, and I'm going to be done for the day, and thank you very much, market. Great job. It's a different mindset, and so the respect has got to be there. I think that comes with your actions as well as how you think about things. A lot of traders, maybe kind of beginner moving on, have this feeling of it owes me, the market owes me, I want to get money back from it. It's this war. It's like you versus the market. And experienced traders don't think like that. They never think like that. The market is there, and it's only because the market exists that they can exist as traders. And so it's revered as something that's useful and valuable. It doesn't owe you anything, owes nobody anything. Your job is just to take and extract profits and opportunities when they present themselves. That idea of, I've got to get my money back on this, or it owes me, I've lost loads of money, I'm determined to get it back. It's just such a negative energy around it that the market will just smell it and they'll just grab you again and just chuck you into the sand, to use that analogy. Unpredictable and powerful. So these are maybe unusual ones, right? The market is unpredictable to a certain extent. And this is the difference. The experienced trader says, hey, you know what? I can't predict every move, every bar, every oscillation, where it's going to close, where it's going to open, but I don't need to. I only need to have a high chance of success on some of my ideas and to press them and extract as much money as possible on the winners than I do the losers, the age-old thing, versus I need to predict everything. It's completely unpredictable, and I don't know how to predict things, and I'm getting it wrong, and this is that. The lens is shifted. Like the beginner looks at it and goes, I need to predict, and it's so unpredictable. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? The seasoned trader looks at it and goes, yes, the market is super unpredictable, but there's certain times when I feel like I can predict what's going to happen. And I don't know, that's why I have my risk management in place. But if I'm right, I'm going to look to hold as much as I can, and the odds are going to work out in my favor, because if I'm slightly right more than I'm wrong, fine, that's not going to make me wealthy. But if I can start to press and I can start to hold those winners and make more on the winners than I do the losers, classical trading 101, then that's going to where the opportunities come, and that's where the equity curve is going to grow. It's that slight shift in approach, I think, of the unpredictability. Because myself, I believe a lot of the market is unpredictable. You could put me in front of the market and I could go, I think it's going lower, I think it's going higher. Am I going to put any risk capital at play? No, I'm not. For me, I've got to have this sequence of things that set up to say, hey, I've seen that before, that specific oscillation and market pattern aligned with my feeling of where we could go. That means I'm going to allocate risk capital. And so I don't think I can predict it, but I think that it's worth allocating capital. And if it starts to be right, hey, that's going to work out into a great trade. If it's wrong, it's going to cost me 1R. If it's right, it's going to make me 5R. I think I've got a 60% chance of this. I'm probably over optimistic, but even those type of numbers work. And so it's thinking, hey, it doesn't have to be predictable. It just has to be certain aspects and periods of time where they create opportunities that you can get involved in. So don't fear the market. And of course, the market's powerful. The market is a massive organism, if you like, of just people transacting, human beings. It does what it wants, when it wants. Your job as a trader is not to fear it, is to respect it, is to go in with your ideas and your strategies, not to think you can outsmart it, not to think you can get one over on it, but just to say, hey, listen, you oscillate, you do what you want to do, market, up, down, trending, consolidating, chopping, ranging, mean reversion, and I will fit in with you, market. I will attempt to read what you're going to do next, and I will position. If I'm wrong, I will take my medicine, I'll walk away. If I'm right, I'll press it, and I'll try and make as much money as I possibly can, take my trade off, and look for the next opportunity. Much more clearer way of thinking. Take care, see you next one, bye-bye.